Hey, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of live coding with GameChanger Labs. Today, we're going to go over GameChanger Wallet, and we're going to break out this session into two categories. One, onboarding, just setting up a GameChanger wallet straight from the web. And then two, we're going to have another breakout room that's going to go into building a dApp, actually getting into the integrated development environment, the playground in GameChanger Wallet, and show people how to charge, or accept ADA for payments. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Adriano and see where we want to go as far as creating the breakout room. I hope you guys enjoy this session. And if you're new to GameChanger, contact me. We're setting up some things with using the burner wallets to do a lot of native asset transactions, which is really easy to do. And then also minting NFTs. There's a lot of really basic functions and utility within this wallet that so you're missing out on if you haven't checked it out yet. So I am going to bid you all farewell as I join the breakout room for beginners. Adriano, James, thank you. I'll see you on the other side.
Stay 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Yeah, that's great. Perfect intro. I mean, we have laid out this session with you this way. So on those who are on the mirror board, please ask yourselves this question if you're watching the screen. So, do you have a non-burner? And if you don't understand what I'm saying, the answer is no. And don't feel bad about it, okay? So, do you have a non-burner GameChanger wallet or pre-production testnet with testnet data ready? I mean, a funded wallet with those funds. If you ask, your answer is no, please join Q, that he's the best person to onboard you to GameChanger and to set up a wallet to then maybe jump to the other, this main Zoom session room where we are going to be coding and doing some nice stuff. So please ask yourselves that question. And Q, is the beta pre-production version. And if you can use the airdrop, that's cool. So we have also tokens. And yes, go through minting, whatever you feel. Thanks a lot, Q.
Absolutely. So just if you don't have a wallet set up, come see me. I'll get you set up and then jump back into the main room and learn how to start building dApps on Cardano with GameChanger.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, so is the breakout room ready?
Yeah, he jumped over there. Are we still looking at his screen though, or is this yours, Adriano?
I don't know what you're watching. I guess I didn't leave, so I am the main one with you all. But yeah, is people jumping to the queue?
He'll come back if nobody joins. I think we've got a lot of advanced people here today. So the agenda.
Have a game change.
Yes, please. The idea is to have a mnemonic or an express wallet loaded on GameChanger. Just the last time I will be asking, so we are all set, because we are going to you're going to be trying the same stuff that we are going to be doing today. So the idea is to make this interactive. So we're all ready? Yes? Okay, let's start. Well, we have here Martin Menier. Martin, hey, how are you?
Hey, good to be here.
Okay, Martin. So to introduce what we are going to be doing today, that I'm going to be saying this very, very quickly. The idea is, the goal of this live session is the very basic thing that we can build with GameChanger by coding. I mean, on GameChanger, the very basic useful thing we can do is to make a transaction. And by making a transaction, if we make users do a transaction that we designed, we are basically able to charge ADA. So how to charge ADA with a link? That's the goal and the mini tiny project that we are going to be doing today. Martin here understood this very, very early and surprised us all with a very cool use case with this wallet. And I'm not going to say any word further. I will let him to tell about what he have done. Yeah, Martin, can you tell us about the page?
Is it all up to me now?
Yes, I will leaving now. We'll be leaving the session. No.
No, I will need the help.
No, told us a bit about it, then we can maybe show something. If you have something, some link, some video link or something to show very quickly.
Yeah, I could share the video link of the...
Okay, please do, and I will be... Hey, thanks for joining.
Oh, I didn't prepare it. Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, I have a new development setup with a new hard drive. So I was missing some stuff just half an hour ago. I was like, oh, this doesn't work. But I have it all up and running, no problem. There's just some stuff I need to log in and find.
Don't worry, maybe we can do this later. You can find the
No, I have it. No problem. This was
okay.
Quick.
Maybe is to show in advance what we can achieve with this.
I will post it in the chat.
Okay.
Is this your screen? You can also run it, so everybody can see it together.
Yes. In the chat is no. Where is it?
In the meeting.
The video. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Let's see if this works. Hey, yeah.
It has to. So it has.
You see, I'm an industrial designer, and this is my sister's barbershop. And this is used for the demo of the PayPad, which you can see here, this device with the blue cover. It's built using a Raspberry Pi parts, so it's, and also I made the software open source, so this is actually a complete payment system where everybody can just do their thing, where nothing is proprietary. So you can use, this is able to, I started with GameChanger to work on this with the first Catalyst Fund 3, I think. And I'm still continuing making it better slowly. And of course, GameChanger was a great help for this, for me. Which we all met in the Catalyst or after town hall chat sessions. It's very nice to put this all together and meet all these wonderful people building stuff. Yeah, you can continue the video maybe, and you can see a bit what's going on. So she has just entered on her desktop, she entered the number or the amount. And right now you're seeing a GameChanger running in the browser on the phone, and you scan the QR code. The QR code encodes the transaction details. Of course, you have to do all the password stuff, which luckily remembers. And then it shows you your GameChanger shows you a representation of what you're going to do. So you see your full transaction details, and transaction is confirmed after 20 seconds, of course, just like with regular Cardano transactions, depending on the congestion.
Awesome. Thanks.
Very simple. Right?
That is amazing. I mean, I don't think there are, even outside of the Cardano ecosystem, like a system that you can really run quickly and just process payment in real life on the fly like that. So that's amazing. Of course, the Hydra layer that just got pushed on mainnet is supposed to do things much faster. Is there like work that is done on that layer to maybe fast get things running much more quickly?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to I have read some stuff about it, about Hydra, and I really want to do something with it, but I didn't have the time yet to do that. There are some stuff with Hydra where you have to think about. It's not like you just run a Hydra node and then poof, you have fast transactions. And there's some stuff where it's a little more complicated, because with a Hydra node you have to make you enter this separate Cardano blockchain, which is actually a copy, but you have to enter it with all parties involved. So you would have to enter it with the shop owner and yourself to make a separate ledger.
So meaning every customer that comes in that want to pay on that layer will have to be on that Hydra head.
Yeah, have to be on that ledger, or you have to make make a lot of different ledgers, which you would run simultaneously with every shop owner and every customer, which, well, that doesn't seem to scale. So maybe you have to have a separate party, which is like an intermediary, where every user connects with this intermediary, and there's a separate side where all the shop owners also connect to this intermediary, where there's separate ledgers in that way. But then you still have to have some kind of settlement.
Yeah, I mean, it's a developing story, so there's just a lot of layers there that we still have to digest. It's something that I have been thinking about.
Yeah, yeah, of course, me too.
It's you know, we have so many wallets now that I'm having a hard time conceiving a way to make the Hydra for payment system really scale properly without necessarily having like the heads talking to heads and everything really networking together so that the system can actually take its full potential. But we are
also very difficult to do, I think.
Yeah, very far from that at this point anyway.
So I'm thinking about it, but maybe it's not ready, and I'm not like the low level stuff. That's a little bit out of my capabilities still. So yeah, you can only do so much, and maybe it's sometimes you have to wait a little bit until stuff matures and it becomes easier for us to implement it.
Yeah.
I think we're not there yet for us, maybe, but if I have more time, I would certainly try to run my own nodes on testnet and see what you can do. But there's still a lot of details you have to figure out. It's not like a one press button. You have Hydra and then you have unlimited speed in transactions. It's not really the case. So there's still some stuff to do there, but it's very interesting, of course, and it's perfect for our application.
Does the Hydra team actually provide like application specific guidance? Let's say you want to develop this for a context very specific to your needs. Did they have? I think I heard in one.
There is a Hydra Pay team, yes.
Okay.
But I didn't put a lot of effort in it, but there's a Hydra Discord channel, official Cardano. But the real Hydra Pay team, I don't see a lot of communication from that. But yeah, I would have to dive in myself deeper.
Okay.
So, I can show you here, Adriano. I will show you here the device starting and then using it.
Yes. Okay.
Is that an idea? Because I have one.
What do you need me to stop sharing desktop or?
Yeah, I can maybe take over.
Okay, go ahead. Just to clarify, what you're about to watch, that Martin is going to show us all, is what we are actually going to be doing today. Every one of you can replicate what Martin has done. Of course, not with a hardware, but on your browsers. But it's the same principle. It's the same thing. So yeah, thanks, Martin, for sharing this awesome use case.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen now, and I can show you if I have a cable that is long enough. I will try. Like I have the device is standing here, and yeah, at the moment it doesn't have the bottom on it, so you can see here the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to power it up. I tried this before, so it should work. Like the intro screen. And it seems to be inverted everything. Okay. Well, I'm now, you can see how it works. It's just a touch screen. And on this side, the QR codes get visible, and you can also have a tip feature where you can make your own. You can make your own QR code, so you can send, if people are standing in front of this device, they can send the vendor a tip, so they can make their own transaction here.
Actually, if someone manages to scan that QR code right now, that is going to to work, a payment request is going to appear on the GameChanger production version of the wallet, the one that is on mainnet, right?
The presentation screen is frozen. You see a lot of code, and so it's YouTube screenshot.
Yeah, that's true. There's nothing happening here.
Okay.
What I'm now going to show is this device is now started. Oh, yeah. Doesn't work here. Wait a second. Ah, yes. Can everybody see this? I hope so.
Yes, Martin.
I make it a little bigger.
It's perfect.
So this is what you would see on the vendor's browser. And this, you just go to this address, and this is automatically where you can go to because you log the device into your Wi-Fi network. So this is how the communication is done via JSON requests, HTTP requests to the device and to the browser. So you really don't need to install anything, and this is where you can configure it. Like you can add your testnet and mainnet wallet, and with this information, together with the amount you put in here, if you press validate, can I make it work? Oh yeah, I can show you. I just put in 22 ADA, and then you get a screen which says 22 ADA, and this is also encoded together with the address into this QR code.
So right now, I'm guessing you're requesting it as like a business owner if you want to charge somebody, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
And so in this case, back to the configuration page, it sounds like you don't really need to prove ownership of the address that you are charging into before you process this payment.
Yeah, but that is true for any blockchain, because basically you can don't have to ask permission to send coins to any address.
Okay, that makes sense.
A part of the system where you cannot block somebody from depositing in your account.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, this is the basics. I can show you a little bit how it works on the back end. Is that a good idea, Adriano?
I don't know, maybe because of the time, Martin, why don't we jump straight to the code so everyone can play a bit with it, and at the end let's deep dive, if you want, on everything you guys want. What do you think?
Can you guys drop the link in the chat before we move on?
What link?
Yeah, I dropped
this.
Yes.
It's a M2 Pay pad.
Oh, but this is on your local network. This is not something where you can go. If you want to have the GitHub, all my links are not here. I can post this on the. This is where you can find some of the code. I'm not sure if it's completely up to date, but where can I find?
Now, I was just referring to like the actual link that you were using. Let's say I want to try this at home. What link do I, type into my browser?
That you can't. You have to have the device on your
Okay.
Wi-Fi because this is serving you this web page. It's not from outside on the wider internet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So this device is actually a HTTP server. Also.
Maybe if Martin share the QR code live, and you can scan that camera image, you will be able to actually run that transaction. Maybe we can try, but yeah, Martin is right. So I mean, the link is on the device and encoded as a QR code. So that's why he cannot like copy paste the link, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to make it with what I have been running here.
Okay. Remember, this is Martin. This is mainnet or testnet?
No, it's pre-prod, but
okay, it's pre-prod. But remember, this is the production version of the wallet. It's not the beta, so it's the same thing you can do on beta, but it's done differently. Today,
yeah, I know this is not compatible yet, but maybe this is something we can do in this session later if we have time.
Yeah,
because I was already I have to do some stuff, so that's why I was here. I was switching from LZW to LZMA.
Cool.
So this is a low-level stuff, but okay, this is one part of the program. I'm going to start it now. You can see here. I'm not sure if it's big enough for everybody, but it's maybe hard to increase the size. Can everybody see it?
Yes. The window M2 Tech. Yes, I did.
Okay, so this is the program that is also running on the device. Basically, it automatically starts it on boot. And what's also running on the device, can show, is this web server. So I'm going to start this web server. And you can see here it's running now on the desktop on port 5000. Where I can go to and you can see the same result. You see here, only this is in dark mode and it's a little bit different because there's been some possibility now for switching tokens. This is like the interface the vendor sees on his desktop. So he will go to, well, the URL can be different, but this is also shown on the device. So you can just enter this URL the device has made for you, like the IP address or sometimes usually there's DNS available automatically in your Wi-Fi router, which gives you a better name, but it can also be IP address if it's not working correctly. Here you can do just the same. I'll have to show the others. Okay, let's see. Configuration. I have added an address already. And I can now try. Bloop, here it goes. Down here you can see this has on the devices has been generating a link, and this link is encoded in the QR code you see here. I can show you this by copying the link and going to this URL. Oh, didn't copy. Let's try it again. No. Oh dear. Something. Got it. We remove the GameChanger specific parts, and then you can decompress it. And here you can see.
Martin, can you zoom in a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, thanks. So Martin has removed the prefix of the URL, the HTTPS GameChanger.finance, blah 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 blah, all that part of the URL, and so he left the last part, and that there you can check what actually is encoded inside that data. Perfect, Martin. Thanks.
So
go ahead.
That is. Thank you, Adriana, for assisting. And well, you can see here the basics of what is actually being sent to GameChanger as the data. This is the address of the vendor. The quantity is the amount of ADA, and in this case, it's test ADA. There's a title to make this transaction unique, and also a description that is generated by this point of sale system. Simple transaction type. So this is very, maybe if you have been on the playground of GameChanger, this is very, if I go quickly to
Hey, remember that you should go to the production version of the wallet.
Yeah, that would be maybe better, because this is different. But
yeah.
It is really, this is the same. So what I do in this device, I just generate this JSON and encode it in, there's some process to make this into a link. So it does like a message pack and then a compression, or and also it makes the link URL safe. And then there's a LZW or LZMA compression in the newer version. So this creates these letters. But this is not encrypted. Everybody can see this data, and in that way, it is very easy for users or developers to also check if everything that is going on is, safe and reliable. Yeah, I like this because it's very transparent, which sometimes with SIP30, that's right, Adriano, what you normally do with DAP communication is SIP30.
Exactly, yes, just
yeah. So that is going directly into handling UTXOs in the wallet for you. And in this case, the GameChanger does the managing of the UTXOs on the user's behalf. And this is like, you have only one DApp like GameChanger to trust. And in other cases, you have all these other parties who can do stuff that is maybe not what you want. So it's a little bit more control, I think, if you're using GameChanger, because this JSON is a direct description and very readable in what is going on. And there's no real secrets here.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks a lot for that explanation. So awesome. So this, I am personally in love with this use case. Martin knows that already. He understood very, very quickly how can one integrate this URL-based the app connector. The way you give orders to the wallet is through these URLs with this packed inside code that we are looking on Martin's screen. So he understood this up to the level that he even created this hardware to create these links, these QR codes, and interact with Cardano. Well, thanks, Martin, for sharing this awesome project. And okay, why don't we try something? I mean, not the exact link that Martin has on the screen, but a very similar one. For those who are on the Zoom call and those who are on Miro board, you have on the Zoom chat and on the Miro board, you have a link that is doing actually the same thing that Martin has solved on his side. And you can try from a user perspective how you can be, as a user, as a customer, be making a payment to a vendor who created, for example, this supposedly created these links. So you can go please on the chat for those who are on the Zoom call, and if you have the Miro board, you can check that this thing here, this button here, this arrow, is actually a link that when you click it, it replicates what Martin has done with the PayPal. Sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry, Martin, can I share my screen now? Do you want to share something else?
Well, we can maybe ask some questions later and maybe do some development to move this to version 2, but you can also show basically this QR code would also work if you have GameChanger on your phone. But
exactly. That's the nice thing about this the app connector, that it can easily connect devices without being on the same device. I mean, you can connect things, your wallet with the app, or a hardware the app, if we can call it that way, without staying on the same browser even. So this is the idea. Yeah. Okay, I will be sharing the screen. Wait. Okay, are you all watching? Yeah.
But I can also copy paste my link in the chat just for reference.
Oh, okay, Martin. Okay. Just to clarify, let's try on the link that starts with beta this time, so we can all be watching the same thing. But yes, later we can explore more in deep the PayPal code and everything around the paper. So please give me some feedback here. Are you all watching the screen and you are all able to click on this button on the Miro board, or do you have access to the chat on the Zoom?
Hey guys, so I'm just on Zoom. I see a link by Martin, but it's a testnet wallet link, so it's probably not the same environment where I'm on, right?
Yeah, this is the old version. So this version 1, which I'm on now. But yeah, of course, we're going to move to version 2.
Okay, cool, thanks. So I won't be able to click on this one, probably, right?
Let's try this one, guys. The one that I just put on the chat again. Let's try this one. To clarify, remember the previous one was the actual link generated by the page. But let's focus on this one so we can sync all together with the beta version of the wallet and start coding.
So is this one the one that asks to pay 5 ADA to the team?
Yes, exactly.
So I've done that. I can send you a C Explorer of that transaction going through.
Okay, if you want. Thanks. Is anyone else able to do it? I will replicate what happens on the screen for you all to see. So you click on that link. That is the same thing that actually scanning, for example, the QR code that Martin has generated. It's very similar. And you are all presented with this image, this page on your wallets, on your GameChanger wallets. What you're watching here is the app connector of the wallet. Is the remote control that we have available to give orders to the wallet. But in this case, we are doing this as users, as end users. So we are executing someone else's code. Someone else has created this payment request, and we are about to execute that payment request. So the same thing that you watched with Martin example, you have here a title with an emoji if you want, and we have a description of this action that is being requested for us to review and execute. We have here a bunch of permissions that are colored. The red ones are the most dangerous ones, and the greener ones are the most not dangerous. These ones, yellows, are in between. We can very quickly understand what is this about, because if we read these permissions, we can see that some code is going to be executed, a transaction is going to be built, is going to be signed, a transaction is going to be signed, and then submitted to the blockchain. 4 steps, 4 things, not steps exactly, but 4 elements that are going to be executed, okay, on our GameChanger wallets, because someone else, an entity, a app, a user, has requested us to execute this on our wallets. If we click continue, and we put our passwords here, our wallet passwords, then we are asked, for example, to sign the transaction. Here we have a transaction review, very similar to what Martin has shown you all, but this is the new, remember, this is the beta version of the wallet, the new version, the one that we are going to be focused on these live sessions. So this is the transaction review with some transaction specific permissions. We can watch here that some assets are going to be sent, some metadata is going to be stored. We have a fee here. And then for those who I don't know, I mean, I guess today's audience knows pretty well what UTXO is and everything else, but please interrupt me and ask me any question if there is something that you're missing. Please. So, for example, on the UTXOs, we can check actually that here are the 5 ADAs that are being requested to be paid on to this address that is marked as the GameChanger team address. Remember, this is testnet, okay? No one is losing any real ADA. And here we can see that there is a change output, okay? That goes back to this address. So without further information, let's say yes to wrap this idea quickly. And now we have to wait for the transaction to be confirmed. This DApp connector, the new version of the DApp connector, it's very feature rich. And for example, you can check the status of the transaction here. Okay, we can try to abort this transaction. We can force a retry if we have some network issues. And you can do even much more stuff. But yeah, so we are waiting for the confirmation. And once this finished, we have made a payment using a link. Okay. So someone is charging us 5 ADAs, and we have just paid that person, that wallet or whatever, with a link. The base principle that PayPal uses to work. Okay. And because GameChanger is web, you're going to be now redirected back. Or depend on the case, maybe we're not going to be redirected back in this case, because I opened differently the link, but depending on the case, we are going to be redirected back to, for example, a deal that has maybe launched this link. So I'm going to ask you all a question. What does a DApp requires to become a DApp? What is a DApp? We know what an application is. It can be a website, a web page. It can be an installable application on our, I don't know, mobile devices or on desktop. But when we say DApp, decentralized application, what actually is a DApp? It's just for executing smart contracts. It's about what? So can I ask you, I mean, what do you think if I ask you all this question? Is this mirror board that you're all watching a DApp? Because actually, this mirror board has asked us to pay 5 ADA on Cardano. And we already did it successfully. So is Martin's PayPal a DApp? Yes, that hardware, that device is a DApp. Because that device asks for, interacts with Cardano on our wallets in a decentralized way. There is no central server processing stuff, for example. All this happens on our devices, on end users' devices in a decentralized way. So, if I may, I would say yes. This mirror board is a DApp, and the PayPal is a hardware DApp. Okay, and this is what you can achieve with this wallet, where the remote control that we have to give orders to the wallet is relying on links. That's the basic idea behind all a world of possibilities that we can start doing with this wallet. So I'm going to make a pause here right now to answer, I don't know, any questions that you guys have, and please let's go very quickly to code. We have half an hour. We have to cover this example. So please, any questions? Super quick. No questions? How persistent is the GameChanger API? I mean, you ask, is there a way to see variables without? Okay, please clarify if I understand your chat question. So you are saying if there is a way to check what's happening behind this app connector when we click continue, when we click execute. So yeah, okay, the answer is yes. And while we are going to be coding a replica of this, or we're going to try because we have half an hour, you're going to be watching how you can audit everything that is happening behind this app connector. And this is a huge difference, I mean, in comparison with other technologies, where you kind of blindly say, okay, I trust a brand, I trust a connection with the app, and you are, of course, you're signing transactions and you're giving your last agreement there, but there are a lot of small communications that happens between the apps and wallets on other standards that are blindly done, and you're blindly trusting them all the time. Things happens and you are even watching or auditing what's happening. And in this case with GameChanger, we don't assume anything. We like to distrust. Distrust is the word, sorry, and trust. I don't know the exact English word for that, but the idea is to verify, not to trust. And GameChanger helps you as a user to check and audit everything that is happening. Okay. So let's go right into the code. So very quickly, there is a rule of thumb here that let's go very quickly back to the link. I will click on the link from the mirror board, and remember this. Remember this. From now on, every time you're facing a app, an example, a link that someone else has created, and of course you are on this live session, so you know this trick. You can, of course, start accessing this advanced menu of the app connector to audit stuff as A has asked. But please remember this: on this button, you can run step by step or in a slow motion way this code that is inside the link. I will explain this later. But please remember this: edit in Playground IDE. If you click on this button, you're going to be able to access the full code of this link, in the code that is packed inside the link, and you're going to be able to clone it, and modify this code. So if I click here, check how I can very quickly access to the code that is being executed on my wallet as an end user. So this is how we can start being curious around everything we are going to be doing on these live sessions. And okay, now I'm going to start coding an example for you all to see. So please, we all have, you know, a funded GameChanger one already on our desktops or any, I mean, your devices. Please go to Discover. Follow me. Go to Discover. Go to Development Center and go to Playground. And here, a very basic payment example is automatically loaded, but we can start from scratch. This is a very, this is a scripting language, a script. What is a script? You know, a series of text that turns out to be instructions that we give to a system. So this is every line here, every piece of text that we're watching here is going to be actually running stuff inside GameChanger wallet. I mean, on GameChanger wallet of the user that opens or executes these links or this code, this script. So if we click new, this is the very basic, the root, if we can say, the root element of this script or scripting language. Every block of code or every actually instruction of this script language has a type. This is the very basic rule of this language. So in this case, when we say TypeScript, for those who knows a bit of programming, is a block of code. It's a container, like a box that is going to be contain other maybe boxes or other instructions. Boxes of instructions or instructions. You can nest blocks of code or just add instructions there. The famous title and description that you have watched on the app connector goes here. So we can say title here and description. This is the name of the object structure, the object that is going to contain the result of the script. The script is going to run a lot of stuff, a lot of tasks in a sequence. And when the script ends, the results of this script is going to be available under the name beta. We're going to watch this. So very quickly, the first thing we can do is we can ask for the user address. This is an example just to check how you can start coding this. Remember, this here is going to be another nested instruction, and this is the name of this instruction. We can put arbitrary names to self-document the code. And here we say type get address. And yeah, I always forget maybe the exact name of the. Okay. This is the beta, so I have to improve the error reporting, but this is a validation error, like a syntax error. What happens here is that it's actually current. Okay, I forgot that part of this type definition. So if I click run, and please remember, we have watched the app connector being executed directly from a link. And if you check here on transport, you have two transports here to pick, to select. URL, that is actually the same thing that we have been testing at the beginning and what Martin makes uses on the paper. And the raw, the default transport, that is this window, this modal window to test stuff or execute stuff without leaving the page. Okay, these are the two ways we can run this DApp connector. If you check, it's actually the same accordion thing, but on this pop-up, let's say pop-up window. Okay, so let's run this little code that is going to ask for the user's address. And you can see it's going to execute a block of code and it's going to be asking to share address. We can check the title and the description that we typed on uppercase. And let's do what A has asked. Let's go step by step here. Okay, let's execute this step by step. I'm not going to deep dive into more advanced stuff, but please check this. There are like 2 steps on the execution of this code. The block of code, okay. If we click next step, it's going to ask our password to confirm this execution of this code. We say accept. And then remember that the instruction that is nested inside this block of code was to actually share the user's address, Cardano address. So here we have the name of this instruction. Very quickly, if you go to advanced, we are going to cover this better later, and you go to status, you are going to be watching the results of the current execution of the code here, the results. So if I click next here, and of course, the script has ended its execution because it was very short. And if I go down to the cache or cache section here, we can verify that the instruction that was nested inside the first block of code that was called get address, we can verify the result. This is the address. Okay, the address of the wallet that is executing this code. And if we check on exports here, because we ask to deliver back the results of the script under the data section, we have the result of the get address instruction here. If I click return, the IDE, the developer environment of the wallet, is going to capture the result of the script. And we can check, here it is, under the exports object of this result. To clarify, and you may know this already, this is called JSON, this format, this text formatting, okay? It's called JSON. So, what time is it? Okay, we have 15 minutes. I will try to go fast to build our first transaction here, okay? Please interrupt me if you have any doubts, because we have to go fast. We are going to do our first transaction on GameChanger wallet. So we're going to say build, because we are going to discuss this later, comparison between this system and the other standards around Cardano. But GameChanger is a transaction builder, a very powerful transaction builder. It's not just signing transactions with our signatures or with our private keys. It's also building transactions, okay? So we're going to build a transaction. For this, we are going to use the instruction called build TX. Okay. And to build the transaction, we're going to start using more properties on this command, on this instruction to the wallet. So we are going to say, in this case, TX. And here, on this object, on this JSON object, we're going to start defining our first transaction. So here, I will, for those who knows this, maybe you have discovered this already on GameChanger PBL. On Cardano, we talk about outputs. Every time we need to make a payment, we are going to be adding outputs of assets on our transaction. So here we are going to say outputs. And we are going to define outputs. We're going to explore all the possibilities of this self-documenting way of coding this. So we're going to say payment. This is an arbitrary name of the item that I'm going to be defining inside this block of code. Okay. So I'm going to say wait a second, I want to check something here. Yeah, it's in plural. It was just checking the syntax. So okay, we need to define an address. Okay, and in this case, just to do this very quickly, I will go to I will grab the GameChanger testnet treasury or airdrop address. I'm going to copy paste it here. Remember, we are on testnet, so this starts with test here, test. So we have an item that is called payment that has an address property, and that has, if we check on the example, sorry, here, if we check on one example, it requires an address, but sorry, an assets, a list of assets. Okay, I read your question on the chat. Thanks. Maybe we can cover this later because we don't have much time. But yeah, it's a very good question. Very important. We will cover that. Thanks. So just to be quick, I'm going to copy. Okay, so we have an address property and an assets property. We're going to be sending assets to this address. By assets, here we mean not just native assets, tokens, NFTs, but we are also talking about the coin of the network, in this case, ADA or testnet ADA. We don't say testnet ADA here, we always say ADA on the code. So this is a list. This here is a list of all other items. So we can have more than one asset here, but we are going to keep it simple. So this is the definition of an asset on Cardano. You have this thing called policy ID that I know you're exploring with James on the PPBL. you have this thing called asset name, another property of Cardano native assets. And then we have the quantity. In this case, remember ADA, and ADA here will refer to the coin, okay, of the network. That is ADA. And then here we are talking in Lovelaces. This is the minimum amount of ADA you can handle. And in this case, to represent one ADA, we have to put 1 million here. So if we put, we can say 5 to replicate the example. We are going to be asking to the user to send this amount of assets, that is just one asset, to this address. Okay, and I'm going to run this to check what happens. So there is no syntax errors, we're good. And you can see here that, of course, you have this block of code, this permission, and then you have this other permission that refers to a transaction that is going to be built on our wallets. And it's yellow because I can imagine that I have Charles Hoskinson wallet or Cardano Whale wallet, and I build a transaction on their behalf to send all their funds to me. Is this possible? Of course it's possible. But who is going to sign that transaction? That's the problem. If they don't sign those transactions, it's worthless. So in this case, we are just building a transaction. This is why it's yellow, because it's not that quite dangerous. Without the signing, the witnesses on this transaction with our private keys, we are set. Okay. So if I click, okay, I will say continue quickly, and done. That's it. If I check on transactions, we can see here that we have a transaction that has not been sent to the blockchain. It's actually stored on the cache, on the local storage of your wallet. Okay. And okay, I'm not going to get into details, but believe me, and you can check this by your own, that this transaction is actually the transaction we need, with the 5 ADA being paid to that address. And I'm not talking about UTXOs. I'm not asking any user address here. GameChanger handles all this information inside the wallet. I recommend you to manually delete these temporal transactions, because GameChanger reserves all the UTXOs. I will maybe explain this later why, but this avoids a lot of errors while we are working or trying to build transactions. So if we don't delete this transaction from local storage, this transaction is going to be reserving funds from our wallet, and it's useless. They're going to stay reserved until we clean this thing. Okay, so delete, and that's it. Very quickly, very quickly. Remember, I'm going to collapse this to understand better the code. We have the build nested instruction on this block of code, and we are going to say now sign. Okay, we're going to sign the transaction. Remember, this is arbitrary naming, self-documented code. I will use now the type sign, sorry, yes. Sorry, this is plural, sign TXS. This is plural, sign TXS. Everything on GameChanger is going to switch to plural very soon. And that's the that's why we say this what it is, multi-transaction native. Okay. So now I'm going to refer to this example here. I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to copy paste this because we don't have much time. Sorry, so yeah, there's okay. So we're going to use this property for now to simplify stuff. And then on TXs, like transactions, we have also a list of transactions to sign on this single instruction. Here, very quickly, this is like a tiny language, programming language that helps you reuse results from other places. Very quickly, I will say here cache.build. That was the name of this line, if we can say, of code, of this block of code. Okay, and .txx is the property inside the result. This builds a transaction and gives us a result object. Inside this object, we have this thing that is actually the data, okay, of the transaction. And very, very, very quickly, I will copy this here. That is going to actually be submitting, okay, the transaction to the blockchain. We build it, we sign it with our private keys, and then we send it to the nodes, to the Cardano nodes. Okay, if this is correct, we are going to be able to send this 5 ADA to that address. Continue. Very quickly, let's check if this works. I will open the transaction section here to watch what happens. Here is the transaction review. I will say yes immediately. Okay, I've done something wrong because it should have waited until this got submitted. Sorry. Submit, listener, submit, sign. Oh, this was it. Sorry. I will show the code to you all so you can try this on your own and understand the last thing I'm changed on the code. Okay, now it's working. We signed we built it. We signed the transaction, and now the code gets stuck waiting for network confirmations. It's submitted now, and it's awaiting. But this colors means that it worked. The transaction worked. So I will share to you. I'm going to close this very quickly, and I'm going to check this. If I go to connect, okay, and if I go here, I can copy the URL that has this code packed inside. And I'm going to be sharing you all these right now on the chat. You there fact, there have the code available to check what we have done already here. Sorry for going too quick. Is there any question? Please, should know. Okay, no questions.
This was a really good overview. Thanks. I like the end-to-end demonstration.
Thanks. And thanks, Martin, for sharing that.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Okay, thanks. Please.
Guys, do you guys want to
Try
maybe give people a little time to digest what they saw today and maybe think about their questions? And then we could think about how to poll people on what they want to do next, whether it's in Discord or on Twitter, or maybe even just at the beginning of our next meeting.
Okay, perfect. We can reach out on GitHub Labs and also on the GameChanger Discord. Feel free to ask anything there, and of course, let's bring your questions here so we can all benefit from them. A has a question. Okay, I will be replying this later. I don't get it. Have you?
Yeah, no, I'm just basically asking about browser compatibility, like, because obviously you're using Chromium right now. Obviously there isn't that much difference between that, I would say, in Chrome, or even like nightly builds, etc. So just wondering whether, because initially I thought that you're using like a nightly build, but even with that, I was just wondering whether there are other bits of conflict. But yeah, I don't want us to go over time. That just kind of came to mind. Yeah, no, this session has been cool. Thank you for it. One thing that came to mind that I would just kind of give my 2 cents. I think it would be cool if the end-to-end included sending a transaction or receiving a transaction first, and then being able to say do other stuff, kind of like the equivalent of like, hey, you've turned up. The POAP equivalent, hate to use that term, but the POAP equivalent is like, okay, open this link and accept payment for turning up, right? Then that sends a whole bunch of TA data to the address, to that address or something, and then one can then be able to do other stuff like the stuff that Martin was indicating, right? Because I think going from being able to be the equivalent of an employee who's then received payment, right, to then being able to go to a shop and then purchase something or something like that, right? Or it could be like paying your rent or something. And part of this could also communicate, the ability of multi output or so multi-address transactions and so on. But yeah, just my 2 cents. Go on, Q. I hope you are not too lonely in your breakout room.
Hey, you were totally in the wrong room. You should have joined me in the onboarding. I totally set up, burner wallets between the hard fork and Quasar and a guest that walked in, using both the Opera crypto browser, the Opera gaming browser, Brave browser, 2 different profiles. Yeah, you're in the wrong room, dude. We had a full-blown economy just in onboarding.
You're the best. Thanks a lot. Hey, I think that I know I get what you're saying, and if I get it right, we have support for something like that. let's discuss this maybe on the next session, so we have plenty of time to cover it. Because if I get it right, this is a key onboarding feature that we can use, and it's these are free more lines on this code to actually get it done. But yeah, let's try this on the next one, and please stay on the next one so you can check if this actually answers your your question. Thanks, Q, once again for for being here and covering that breakout group. Thanks, you're the best on onboarding. Thanks.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. And yeah, I think there'll be some good stuff in that recording for us to go over. It's very awesome stuff.
Cool. So, any other question? Thanks, thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, Saulo, go ahead.
This question might not be for you. I was just getting back to my local node installation. I was hoping that anyone from this meeting can spare, I don't know, 15 minutes to give me some pointers. But yeah, after you guys are done, I guess.
Oh, okay, I guess we can. I mean, it's cool to benefit from, if we are talking about what we have covered, it's cool to have it under the recording. So, but yeah, it's okay. I can stay on. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the official session. If anybody can stick around, that's great. Solo, I'm sorry, I can't right now. Anybody else able to stick around or maybe want to jump into the garage and Discord? You can do that. And if you don't find somebody today, Solo, we'll cover that at live coding tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I can try the garage on Discord, and if not, then we can just do try tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Great session, Game Changer team. Can't wait for next week.
Thanks all, and thanks Martin for coming and sharing your awesome work. Thanks.
Hey, see you at Playground in a little while. Looking forward to seeing you there. Cheers.
Giving the possibility to show my payment system.
Okay, thanks. No, thanks to you. And your payment system should be, I don't know, broadcasted every week on Cardano. It's what we are needing, real fi. I believe I feel we need more real fi, you know, simple payments, but in a massive way out there. That would be awesome for Cardano. So any other else? I mean, Q, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. So I'm in this breakout room, and this is probably not for this recorded session or anything, but I see the broadcast button. Does that make? Could I have taken my lesson also live to the Gimbal Labs channel, or would it broadcast it somewhere else?
I don't have a clue. James has left. Yeah. This is for James.
Okay. I will follow up there.
Okay. Anyone wants to continue this, or we close it?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Q.
Yes, sir.
You still want to do some feedback on the paypad?
Yeah, 100%. And in fact, I mean, we can turn it into a separate session, you know, through the hard fork or something, and do some things. So I've got definitely feedback and some additional testing, and create some content for you as well.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. When do you have time? I don't know this hard fork one is. I'm not into. Is that the Twitter stuff? I'm not following it.
It's just it's I've got a YouTube channel and a Twitter. You know, just another immediate way to get information out to everybody. So yeah, it's a broadcasting unit.
Is this also always every day, this hard fork cafe, right?
Oh, well, I mean, it can be if you want it to be. Like,
oh, I don't know.
Yeah. No, not yet. But hey, let's stop this because I see myself being streamed on to the YouTube.
Okay. If
all right.
if anyone wants, let's do another session maybe today, but let's coordinate this on our, I don't know, on our Discord server or on Twitter. Let's sync this. If you want, we can continue today or do something else. But we should maybe jump to the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, you go ahead and end the space, Adriano, and I'll take it from there.
I will end this, okay?
Or you leave, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Hey, we're still here.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. I guess it has to be up to me to end it. That's beautiful. So here we go. All right. I'll catch you a little bit later.
Let me know that we can do it in time this time.
You got it. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining, man.
Hey, guys.
I'm trying. Oh, man, we just simply can't leave this Zoom. I think we're done now. No, not yet.
I heard there was a breakout room.
There was a one-man breakout room, which is the way breakouts work. It's always one guy breaking out, like GameChanger breaking out from the mold.